Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Christine, and this is Christine from the Liar videos. Here's her story. Okay, Ollie, I've been doing a lot of videos with you over the last 4 months, and if this is annoying to your viewers, please understand that my therapist charges me $330 a visit. Wow. I try to go every week, and my insurance has been pushing back big time. I don't know if I could afford her much longer. I'm writing to Ollie because I'm remarkably better than when I started this journey. I was a crying orphan mess since I first went no contact with my narc mother and golden child sister in May. I am clear I don't feel guilty anymore. I must have had tendencies toward histrionic behavior and was in denial about it. Something healthy in me gravitated to his channel because I needed a brother type to straighten me out. He did it with tenderness and validation in the first video, never believe anything that comes out of the narcissist's mouth, and then slowly became tougher on me, almost like he had a spidey sense when I was nervous and an overly emotional person. I believe it was the equivalent of in the movie Airplane when a hysterical woman passenger was screaming and a line formed of people that were going to knock some sense into her with hammers, guns, bats. It was like that, and exactly what I needed. Who knew? I thank God I never had any ego because of the mother I had, so I was able to absorb the content of what Ollie was telling me. You see, I saw my mother fake constant heart attacks and threaten to leave us all the time. She would stub her toe and I would hear about it for weeks. She made a citizen's arrest once when a couple of teenagers cut us off. I was constantly on high alert. It's how she taught me to be. I was able to take Ollie's tough love, and even though it made me angry and defensive at times, like, hey man, my life has been a miserable fuck. Why are you beating me down? Well, he wasn't beating me down. He was toughening me up because my weakness, fear, and guilt was what was stopping me from healing. I believe I had some annoying histrionic behavior because that's how I thought you communicated the level of your anxiety and stress to those around you so they can calm you like a pacifier. I never faked heart attacks or threatened to leave, but I was chronically depressed without having an identifiable trigger. I slept a lot when the kids were at school. I was involved in everything for them but me. I was stuck in victimhood. I gave everyone the impression that I was a happy person, but the ones closest to you, you never fool. When I spoke to my mother especially, I noticed my voice would drop. I would speak slowly. I would complain of headaches that I wasn't feeling very well. I guess that's how I would ward off her attacks, to make myself weak. I never ever fought back with Mom. Never disobeyed or even elevated my voice. I like to think that there is a healthy something inside each one of us that will pull us through. Here's an example. When I was 20, I started dating my husband. He was from the country, a hillbilly. I raised like a veal, had gotten raped as a virgin the year before, was in full bulimia mode, and was having what I would call frequent out-of-body experiences where I would imagine that I was floating above my head. Weird. Well, we went fishing one day and I slid down a rock into about a foot of water. He was still standing there when I turned around. He had no panic on his face and I was so mad at him. I wanted to kill him. Why didn't he jump in and save me? Why wasn't he all bloodied up trying to save the girl he loved? You know what he said to me? Turn around and walk out of the water. You're fine. I wanted to break up with him right then and there. He must not care about me, I thought. But I stayed with him, and 26 years later, I realized that right then something inside me told me that was what I needed. To realize the world isn't constantly on fire. I don't need to have people who require me to be on 24-hour call in case they need me in the middle of the night if they have pain attacks or get a flat tire. I can just allow myself not to have anything to do. Well, here's something cool that happened to me last week. When I was 13, my mother had a permanent retainer cemented into the bottom of my teeth. She did this because I sucked my thumb, and it was always something so humiliating to me, and I couldn't stop. Erin sucked her thumb. Erin still sucked her thumb until 8 years old. Everyone would laugh at me and my family because they would joke that I could suck my thumb with my kids one day. She made a big deal of putting this brace on my teeth so my teeth wouldn't get all pushed out and crooked. I resented her doing that. It was a constant reminder that I would never be able to stop this baby habit. By the way, thumb-sucking adults is a thing. It's described as a soothing mechanism carried well into adulthood when inadequate or absent maternal care is given the infant. I had no idea until recently. I thought I was just an asshole. Well, for 33 years, I scraped my tongue against this contraption. I was never not conscious of its presence. Last Sunday, I woke up and felt a jabbing pain. The wire came out of the cement after all this time. Why? I had no idea. I hadn't eaten anything that would have done this. It just popped out. I had a strange feeling that something was going to happen. First thing I did was floss in between those 6 teeth. It was amazing. Why didn't you ever have it taken out? You could have had that removed anytime you wanted. Why didn't you? Well, later that day, my older son needed correction as he was being disrespectful. So I took away his phone and sent him to his room. He had the house phone in there with him, and I heard him from outside his door calling someone. Strangely, it was on speaker, which my son never does. Who does he call? My mother. Hi, Nanny, how are you? I hate my mom. She's so mean. She took my phone away. That's what 14-year-old boys do. They play you sometimes. That's concerning, that a 14-year-old boy is going to call his grandmother on his mother. I heard my mother say clearer than day, well, sweetheart, you and I should stop to pray right now for your mother's serious mental illness. That's what me and your aunt, my sister, have been dealing with our whole lives. Let's ask God to heal her. She's so sick. I hope you kicked that door off its goddamn hinges at that point. Everything inside, or at least sent his father in. Like, where's his father at this point? I opened the door and screamed at my mother. I called her every horrible curse word I could. Thank God. It was so profanity-laden and I was shocked at myself. My son looked at me in surprise. I told her I was never going to let her get to my son and that I wasn't a kid anymore and all I'm hoping for is for her to drop dead. She kept screaming at me to repeat it. I know she was recording me. I hung up. Oh my God, how did I do that? Then I started crying. My husband got home and called my dad. He asked him what happened here. My dad said he only heard me screaming and that Nanny and my son were having a nice conversation. That's my dad, the one I loved more than anyone in my life. Yep, there he is. There's your enabler who you thought was on every chance the enabler gets. They fuck you over. They throw you they never miss an opportunity. Never. The one I paid for a lawyer to draw up an alternative will so that my mother's wish to cremate him would not be carried out. She ruined my life, he said. She's not going to ruin my death. Don't bury me with that bitch. I don't want to be barbecued, he told me. I would bury him with his parents, where he wanted to be. That my father denied to my husband what happened directly in front of him. Well, my husband finally stood up for me. No more, he said. This is ended. You don't get to bully my wife and try to turn our son against his mother. Thank God. End of story. At that moment, I loved my husband more than I ever had in my life. He stood up for me. I wasn't alone. I wasn't crazy. I had evidence. I am free. Thank you, Ollie, for giving me the slap in the face I so desperately needed. I'm grown up now. I can do this. Love, Christine. Well, I'm glad it finally got to this point with you, Christine. I really am. And I'm glad your husband stood up for you. And I'm glad you got to see one more time this this father you thought you loved. He's good at all he cares about. Again, covert narc. Father's a covert narc. He got his taken care of. He don't want to be cremated. He don't want to be burned. Guy wanted his burial, but nope. When it comes to standing up for you, it's same old, isn't it? So, I'm glad you got to this point. And I'm glad you realize I'm not picking on you or I'm not picking on anybody. I do what I do to wake people up, to be honest with them, okay? To not placate you because it gets you nowhere. If you really come to me and you're really trying to get better, you're going to listen to what I'm telling you. Because I do know what I'm talking about here. And the covert narc, there he was. Covert narc will never miss an opportunity to throw you under the bus. And your father did it again. So, there you go. Thank you again for another contribution and story, Christine. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.